All right, good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. How you doing? Excuse me. Excuse me. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope I find you well. Woke up this morning a little congested with allergies, but it is what it is. My allergies, thank God, have not been anywhere near as bad as they were about a month ago. Mostly because we've closed off the house, and I use the air conditioner a lot now in the office. So it filters out a lot of those particulates, as they're called. But still, some days I wake up and I'm like, bleh. And today was one of those days. So you'll definitely hear it a little bit, but it is what it is. Should clear up over the course of the stream. A lovely Thursday. This is June 17th, 2021, and I am DSP, and I welcome you all here to the streams. How y'all doing? I hope you're all having fun. You're in a good mood. You're ready for some action, because today is apparently shooter day. I didn't purposely line it up like this. But I was actually taking a look, like, wait a minute, damn, I'm playing all shooter games today. Which is actually weird when you talk about Mass Effect, but Mass Effect 3 really is a shooter game. Like, Mass Effect 1 is definitely like an action RPG. Mass Effect 2 is kind of like a unique hybrid game, but Mass Effect 3 is a shooter. Like, they converted the entire thing over to basically be a shooter. It's pretty much removed almost all RPG elements from it, besides maybe the dialogue trees. And, yeah, it should be interesting. Again, I keep telling you guys, I don't remember much about Mass Effect 3, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because when I originally played it, maybe it's that when I originally played it, I was busy with a million other things. As I've told you guys, that was a crazy year. What was it, 2012? That year, I was involved in so much stuff. Not only my ongoing playthroughs, it was my second year of doing YouTube full-time. I was filming things like Project 7. I was going to gaming conventions. Like, I was constant action. Everywhere I was, every day was a super busy day for various different reasons. So, it very well just might be that year's kind of a blur, right? 9 years ago. And, I don't remember much about the game at all. So I guess we'll see what happens as I continue to play the game. Now, admittedly, I'm going to say something that, it's not necessarily negative. It's just, right now, I feel like I'm not getting to play enough of each game that I'm playing. Because right now, I've got 3 major playthroughs going on. We've got Fallout New Vegas, which I'm very much enjoying replaying a third time and taking my time with it and doing all the content with all of you. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, which I'm now roughly 9 hours into, and the game's just getting better the more I play it, I feel. And Mass Effect 3. These are my 3 major playthroughs right now. But every week, I'm getting to play each maybe once or twice, and it's hard to make progress in a game that's lengthy when you're really not playing it that much, you know? Now, in addition to that, the other stuff that I've been juggling as chill streams, for example, MLB, right? New Pokemon Snap, Call of Duty once a week, Street Fighter once a week, and then trying to cram in Virtua Fighter. Because I've been doing all these games, I feel like I really haven't focused in on much. It's just like every day I'm doing something different, which is good for a variety streamer, but admittedly, it doesn't feel like I'm making progress at all. You know what I mean? Like, if you take a look at these playthroughs, Mass Effect 3, I played what? This is the 3rd session? 4th session? I don't even know. I've kind of lost track because it's kind of disjointed, you know? I think that when Mass Effect Legendary Trilogy came out, there was hype for it, and now, here we are a month later, I've beaten Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 3, I think all the hype's dead, you know? Like, people are really, meh. When I play it, it's okay, some people come to chill, but that's about it. There's not much excitement for the game at this point. The good news is there's not much going on in the realm of new releases. There's Mario Golf coming out later this week, and that's about it. There's really nothing else happening in the foreseeable future until the middle of July. Okay. By the way, once again, people are saying I named the stream wrong. You're right. I keep naming. Here's what happens. I have to set these streams up early. I set them up the night before, and when I do, I accidentally use the date of the day that I set it up. I just fixed it. Thank you for telling me, Zombie Circus. I changed it to say June 17th now. But yeah, thankfully there's not many new releases coming out at all between now and the middle of July. So it's looking like for the next 3+ weeks, I'll be able to focus in pretty heavily on what I'm already doing, besides Mario Golf, which obviously is going to be added to the mix here. So maybe I'll make some good progress in some of these games. But it just seems to me like right now, the game I'm playing the most is kind of Fallout because I like it. And of course, Ratchet and Clank, those are the 2 games I'm focusing on. So Mass Effect 3 has kind of hit the back burner and is only getting played like once a week. Now I have to take a look at my schedule, and I have to figure out when my next day off is, because my next day off this week is Sunday, but I don't know what the day off after that will be. If it's at least 6 to 7 streaming days, then maybe I could squeeze in more Mass Effect, you see, but right now it's kind of tight. Everything's been kind of tight with all the playthroughs I've been doing. I'm enjoying all the playthroughs I'm doing. I should call that out. Like, there's no particular stream that I'm like, I'm not really having a good time with this. In fact, it's the opposite. All the games I'm playing right now, I'm actually enjoying quite much. And today, this will be exciting because I feel that again, only the second time playing the game, it's like new content. It almost feels like a new game that I'm playing because I don't remember the original game really at all. So, for those of you who played the game and know it, you're in luck because you're going to know way more than me. We're going to be interacting and talking about the game as I play it today for sure. If anything, the thing that I do have the most regret about right now is Virtua Fighter 5. I feel the game is quite good. Playing it, I'm actually enjoying it. The graphics, using the Yakuza 7 graphics, are really good too. I just don't have time to play the game, Like, if you take a look at my schedule, I can't even play it this week at all. And people are, oh, why don't you play Guilty Gear Strive? Like, are you out of your mind? How on earth would I have time for that? That's the thing. When you're a variety streamer like me, and you're juggling all these projects, it's very hard to play certain games that take a lot of time investment. And right now, I have so many playthroughs going on, I don't really have time to invest in much at all. So what I would hope for is that over the next 2 weeks or so, I will make some major progress. Likely I'll end up completing Ratchet and Clank, because at this point I believe I'm about halfway through it. So I'm thinking maybe another 3 streams or so, and I might wrap up Ratchet and Clank, so another week to week and a half. Of course, Mario Golf is going to hit the mix, but the good news is Mario Golf is a sports game. That is a game that has no rush to go through and finish, per se, simply because there is a sports game. It's not something that's going to have some crazy story-driven campaign that I have to beat in a certain period of time. I can basically play it casually. But outside of Mario Golf, yeah, we're just going to keep focusing in on the stuff I've been doing. Hopefully, I will be able to free up some time to play more Virtua Fighter. In fact, the good news is I did finish New Pokemon Snap on Monday night. Actually, I take that back, Tuesday night. So now, because that's done, now I can have an extra late-night stream to do more stuff, whether it's just another stream of something I'm already doing or whatever, or maybe I'll play an extra stream of Mass Effect or something. I don't know, we'll see. There you go. DSP Play Biomutant says, as someone who's known for fighting games, don't you think viewers expect you to take time to play one of the hottest fighting games in years in Guilty Gear? No, absolutely no one comes to my channel to watch coverage of hot new fighting games at any kind of a competent level. You come here once a week for Street Fighter because that's the games I grew up with. You're going to get a good old school throwdown style stream once a week. Outside of that, I casually cover other fighting games. If they have a story, I'll play through the story, and I'll do a little bit of online. I'll dabble in it, but I don't ever get good at these games. I don't know why you would think about that, or even desire that. That certainly has not been something of my content in many, many years. It's actually funny because, I've been following the trends on Twitter, and one of the trends that is going on is basically people who are into fighting games heavily are criticizing Guilty Gear Strive and basically saying that the game has failed miserably at what it set out to do. So, basically, Guilty Gear Strive, from what people are saying, is a game that's supposed to be easy to play and easy to jump into. They tried to simplify the game for more newer players who have always said that, man, there's a giant difficulty, not spike, but basically the game is one of the harder games to learn because it's complex, has so many systems in it, that Guilty Gear, essentially, if you play the shit out of it and you become a pro, it's a great game, but it's very hard to play casually, and that the skill gap between someone who's mastered all the systems of Guilty Gear versus someone just starting is insane, to the point where they never even have a chance to win. So with Guilty Gear Strive, apparently, what the top players are saying is that this game was designed to be easier to play, more simplistic, because they dumbed down the systems, but it fails at what it meant to do. The whole purpose of dumbing down the systems was supposed to make the game more accessible to the common person so that they could play and feel like they can win, but apparently it's not the case. Apparently what's happening is these players are all in this endless loop of bottom of the barrel kind of gameplay, and then the moment they play someone who understands Guilty Gear, they get bodied because they didn't learn anything advanced, because the game can be played at this simplistic level. You don't need to learn the intricacies of the engine to actually like play it and enjoy it, which is a good thing for entry level. But the moment you want to take a step up to a competitive level, it's like a whole new ball game. Anyone who's played the previous Guilty Gear games apparently has like a giant advantage over those who are newcomers. So the newcomers essentially stand zero chance of beating anyone good at the game, making it basically two separate games. You've got Guilty Gear Strive for the casuals, and you've got Guilty Gear Strive for the pros, and there's no crossover at all. That's basically what they're saying, is they were trying to make it so the game was accessible to a bigger group. And it is, but it's not the same game. You see what I'm saying? Imagine if, how can I explain this? It's hard to explain if you don't understand competitive fighting games. It really is. But essentially, it's just impossible to get into unless you're already good at Guilty Gear. Is basically what they're saying. They're saying because they simplified it, more people are jumping in and trying it, but they're failing because they're realizing they don't understand high-level gameplay, and the game doesn't really facilitate that they learn it. You see what I'm saying? Since the game is made to be played on a more simple level, it makes it that you jump in and you learn basics. Okay, then you just go online and play with those basics and have fun until then all of a sudden you play a good player. That's the end of your fun. And then you can never progress. Like it's like smashing your head against a brick wall. Instead of saying, okay, well, this game forces you to learn these complex maneuvers and things in order to actually even do combos. And then since you force yourself to do it, you get better. And this game's like, no, you don't need to learn those. But then, of course, you'll never win if you don't know them. But anyway, the point I'm making is, this game, as I figured, all right, in order to actually play it and enjoy it on a competitive level, you need to play the shit out of it, just as I knew it would be. I knew for a fact this would, it's more accessible. That's great. That means you could play it at a base level and fuck around for like, a couple hours, but that doesn't mean you're actually going to learn the game. You're going to learn basically a combo or a pattern or whatever, but you're not going to learn the game at a competitive level that way. The only way to learn a fighting game is to play the shit out of it. It's just that simple. There's no shortcuts around it. There's no, I can get good at this game because it's accessible. No, you have to just play it a lot. And I knew with Guilty Gear Strive coming out this month, when I was already going to be in the midst of all these other things going on, that I wasn't going to have that kind of time. And that's why I knew it didn't make any sense. Okay? In regards to Virtua Fighter 5, what I can say is this. At the very least, Virtua Fighter 5 has a lot of similarities to some other games that I've played. For example, there's definitely crossover between that and Tekken. There's definitely huge differences. But at least there's some crossover. And by the way, Virtua Fighter 5 is an older game. Came out in 2006 in arcades. So even though it's a new release, technically it's 15 years old, and it does play like an older school fighter for me. So I kind of have knowledge of certain fundamentals and certain things that I can carry over to it. While in Guilty Gear, this is a franchise I've never played. And Guilty Gear has always been a franchise where it's very different from Street Fighter and other games. Your basic knowledge of fundamentals doesn't get you very far. You need to learn all the nuances of all the complexities of the game engine in order to do well. And I have never done that. I've never really played the series. So for me to say, I'm going to play Guilty Gear Strive because it's accessible. It's like, yeah, right. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll play and I'll, beat a few casuals, and then the moment that I play anyone who's anything above the introductory rank, it'll be bodied. So what would be the point, you see? Anyway, that's why I'm not playing Guilty Gear Strive. I actually said on Twitter last night, I'm excited for King of Fighters 15. Like, I was getting into some of the announcements and things for it because I've been out of the loop. And, they brought back a majority of the classic characters who I really like from the original series, like the original 3 games. A lot of those characters have returned. Well, actually, the original 4 games, I should say, because of the Orochi team. And that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing when that game is going to come out, because we don't know yet. It doesn't have a release date yet. That one I might actually get into. Like, I might actually say, okay, I grew up playing King of Fighters alongside Street Fighter. That's a franchise that I might be able to sink some time into and enjoy, and actually dedicate some time to, But Guilty Gear, nah. I just don't have any excitement over it. It's a franchise I've always skipped. And even though I absolutely, positively respect players who play it and play it at a high level, because that game is very difficult to play at a high level, I just don't, I've never been down with it. I don't know. So anyway, that's the deal with that. But I wish I could play more Virtua Fighter. I'm hoping, now that I beat new Pokemon Snap, maybe I'll have an extra stream a week. Maybe I can play some Virtua Fighter, man, because I like the game. But here's the thing, like, now people are like, we'll play a new character. Well, that's not how it works. When you play a fighting game, you're supposed to sit there with a character and play with them a lot to learn the matchups, to learn what beats what. Like, for example, the very last time I played Virtua Fighter 5, okay? I've been playing with Shun-Di. I've played 2 sessions with him. At the very tail end of the last session, I learned 2 moves that are very fast and basically can punish and or beat a lot of other moves. I was like, oh, I can use this next time I play with Shun-Di. Now, what if next? Oh, use a new character. Use a new character. Well, then I'll never learn. You see, I learn things and then I can't implement them because people will always scream, use a new character. You see? Whenever I play games, it's kind of like I can never win, because if I use all new characters, then I don't learn enough with each character to do well, right? But if I focus in on one character and I start doing well, then people complain that it's too much of the same thing. But then they complain if I lose constantly. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. So I'm not really sure how to progress with Virtua Fighter 5. Quite frankly, I'd like to keep playing with Shun-Di. I'd like to keep doing multiplayer sessions with Shun-Di and try to learn more about him and get good with him. But then people will just complain you only played 2 characters in the game and really you've only used 1. Why are you keep doing the same thing? Like, because I'm trying to learn. That's how you play fighting games, Anyway, we'll see what happens this week. Let's talk about the schedule. Today's Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition right now. We'll see how this goes. Again, I don't remember much about the game, so I don't know, what's going to happen today on today's stream. I don't remember the order of events or much about anything about the game. Later tonight, it's the premiere of Season 4 in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Yeah, Season 4 actually begins today. And the cool thing about this is I unlocked a brand new pistol last time around when we were playing. So tonight we can focus in on using the new pistol and whatever the new content is in Season 4. We're going to see it for the first time. So that's exciting. That should be cool tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. But incidentally, today's all shooting, which I didn't realize when I set up the schedule. I wasn't thinking, oh, today will be a day where I'm doing all shooter content. It just kind of happened that way. Tomorrow, it's the continuation of Fallout New Vegas, which I'm very excited for. I've been having so much fun playing this game recently. Taking my time and doing all kinds of fun stuff. We'll be finishing up Vault 22, and then it looks like I'll be doing a DLC. I believe that the first DLC I should do is called, I think it's Honest Hearts, and I believe that's the one you go to the very north of the map to do. So it's probably what we'll be doing tomorrow. And tomorrow night is my weekly throwback session of Old School Street Fighter, which I'm excited for as well. On Saturday, it'll be more Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, where it looks like we'll be moving into the second half of the game. And then Saturday night will be my weekly session of Danganronpa V3, and that's the streaming week for me because I'm off on Sunday. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen up. This is very important. All right? Next week, I will finally get paid by YouTube. I know, it seems like forever, right? But that's how it works when you are a live streamer. Anything that you do on a streaming service, basically, your income accumulates for a month, and then you get paid for it the next month. YouTube usually pays me the 3rd week of every month for what I earn here on DSPGaming. This month, it'll not only be ad revenue on all of my videos, but it'll also be all the super chats and the memberships from the month of May. I'll get paid for the 3rd week of June. Okay, that's great. That means after 2 months of flubbing around here trying to figure out what I was going to do with my future of streaming, we kind of figured it out. It means that I'll have consistent income once a month coming in from YouTube. And it means that hopefully things will get back to normal. It won't be about, oh my God, what am I going to do to pay my bills and everything constantly? But the next week is tough for me because I have a big back tax payment coming up in 3 days. But then I also need to have money to do stuff on Sunday on my day off, like grocery shopping. So I need basically your support today, tomorrow, and Saturday. And I'm making no bones about it. Please tip me if you can. I need the support right now. Once we get to next week, things are going to be much better, much eased up. I won't have to worry about this. I won't have to mention constantly, tip me, tip me, tip me. I'm so tired of it. For 2 months, I've had to do this and scream about it, which I don't want to do. But I've had to because Twitch screwed me over. They're being very upfront with it, about it. They did. They completely kicked me out of the partner program with no justification. They have failed to prove anything. They haven't said a word about evidence of any wrongdoing. All they said is, oh, we're just kicking you out because we think you did something. And, you know, it's bullshit. So they basically screwed me up for 2 months. They did. They screwed me up for 2 months. And I'm hoping things will be able to work out long-term here on YouTube. Admittedly, it'll be a little bit tougher. I'm not going to have the crazy amount of subs I used to have over on Twitch, right? But you guys have been very supportive in the last month that I've adapted the streams to YouTube. In fact, a lot of people have hit their 2-month resub anniversary here. Okay? So basically, yes, good stuff. And I hope things will work out. It looks like they're going to. But I need to get to next week. So please, if you can, if you like the streams, if you support the content, please tip me today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Even if it means foregoing other methods of support. If it means, oh, I was gonna do a super chat. Please tip me, okay? I need the money right now to pay these bills in the next few days. So how do you tip me? Well, take a look at the description of the video. There's a link there. Or you can type !tip into the stream chat. Either one is welcome. Thank you very much. And thanks in advance, okay? We have a super chat to shout out. And then there's a really weird news story I want to talk about today. Something that I've been following for the past couple of days that is really silly as hell. Okay, and I honestly don't even know how to react to it. I want to talk about it though because it's so silly. Okay, now, first of all, thank you to Parasolo for a super chat. He says, I really want a chill stream of Flight Sim. Well, right now it's not possible. Sadly, Microsoft Flight Sim will only be released for Xbox Series S and X, and it's currently on PC, and that's it. It's not going to be compatible with the original Xbox One. Maybe long term there'll be a way to do it, but right now there is not. Okay. Oh, I just got a $10 tip from Kuko. Thank you to Kuko for a $10 tip. That's the first tip of the day. Let's get that on the leaderboard, and then I'll talk about this news story I want to talk about. Thank you so much. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, people certainly know how to come up with these weird conspiracy theories about games. And right now, with E3 and Summer Games Fest this last week, this is no exception. So here's what's going on. All right? Everyone was up in arms at the Summer Games Fest when Hideo Kojima basically presented absolutely nothing new, but instead just announced, oh, a director's cut of Death Stranding. I mean, admittedly criticizing that, they're like, why is there a director's cut? He was in charge the whole time. He directed the game. It was his decision what made it. It wasn't like there was some big lumbering studio over his head telling him to include this and cut this out. Those were all his decisions. So why is this news, and why is there even a director's cut, right? But anyway, there's been speculation, all right, ever since that happened on Summer Games Fest, that there is some secret agenda going on behind the scenes, and that Hideo Kojima is actually working on a secret game that he's been alluding to on his social media for like a long time, okay? Just listen to this. He's been dropping secret clues that there's a game he's working on, but no one's really interpreted the clues fully yet, but they're really trying hard to figure this out, okay? So, there's this, alright, listen up. There's a game coming out, supposedly by the end of this year. It's called Abandoned, okay? It's being made by a game studio called Blue Box. Now, this game is an indie game, and this studio supposedly like in the Netherlands or something like that. No one's really heard of them. Apparently, there was some Kickstarter on the internet for a game like 6+ years ago from this company. But since then, no one's heard about this company at all. All right? So, all of a sudden, Sony, I guess, advertised that this game would be coming out by the end of the year. And everyone's speculating, why would Sony, out of nowhere, highlight a random indie game coming out for PlayStation 5 with zero info about the game? Like, there's really nothing about it. This mysterious trailer was released. Okay? And the trailer is basically like, imagine if you wake up in the woods and you're by yourself and you have nothing. You have no food, no shelter, nothing to defend yourself. But then you're being hunted by this like cult-like group of people who are out to kill you. You know, how would you cope? And all it basically shows, it's like a walking simulator. It shows like walking first person through an empty forest. And at the very end, it shows a hand holding a gun. And that's it. So that's it. You know, there's no information about anything about this game. That's it. That's all that's on the internet. People have been all of a sudden putting together all this weird information, trying to basically make connections, saying that this is actually the new Silent Hill, and that Hideo Kojima is actually making it. So just listen to some of this stuff. First of all, Blue Box made a cryptic tweet, and they said something about that the game would be related to or be similar to another game, and that the game starts with the letter S and ends with the letter L. So immediately, Silent Hill, it's Silent Hill, it's got to be Silent Hill. People going nuts. Now, Blue Box since tweeted back to everyone and announced, no, it's not Silent Hill, and we're sorry that there was any confusion or speculation about that. It's not the case. So, what was that all about, right? And in addition, could they just be that they're trying to stir up drama to hype their indie game and create artificial hype around it, making people think that it may be related to Silent Hill? I don't know, okay? But now there's some really weird stuff going on. So, people have taken Hideo Kojima's name, put it into basically like kanji characters, typed it into Google Translate. And if you type it into Google Translate and you translate it to like Turkish or something crazy like that, it translates Hideo. The word Hideo, it translates into this word, this name. And this name is apparently the last name of the head dev of this game, Abandoned. So they're saying, you see, if you translate Hideo over like 2 languages, it becomes the name of the game dev. This must be him and he's making this game. It's obvious. This is clear-cut evidence. And then in addition to that, what they've been doing, again, these Twitter conspiracy theorists, they've been cherry-picking like social media posts that Hideo has been putting out and basically saying they're all alluding to Silent Hill. So I kid you not, Hideo Kojima always posts stuff up on his social media. He's actually a really media interactive guy, which is kind of nice. You get to kind of see what he's into, and he's into a lot of stuff. So he posts up like, oh, these are 2 books that I'm reading. This one is from, I don't know, like Sarah Hill, and this one here is like, it's called The Silence of the Forest. You see? Hill and Silent Hill. Did you see? He posted it up on social media, Silent Hill. And then another one is like, so he posted up a picture. I guess there's like, I don't know if it was a picture book or if it was a book and this was the cover of the book that he was reading, and it showed a forest. And they're like, look, if you hold that picture up to the picture of the Abandoned production art, it looks the same. They're the same game. It's just so weird, man. Seriously, it's just, you gotta scratch your head about this stuff. And the thing is, these people are actually they're stirring themselves into a fervor about this. They really are. Like, if you follow what they all keep tweeting it, retweeting it, and piling on. And what it is, again, it creates this weird groupthink mentality. We've been talking about this recently a lot. Just yesterday, we talked about the groupthink mentality in the Smash community, that they're trying to take the word Shoto and make it mean something it doesn't. In this case, people want to believe so badly that Hideo Kojima is working on Silent Hill, because he was at one point and then the project got canceled, right? They want to believe this so strongly that they are actually going so far to stretch and just connect dots that aren't meant to be connected, that they're actually fabricating this giant, elaborate conspiracy, viral, hidden campaign about a new Silent Hill game, okay? It's very bizarre. Now, if you remember Hideo Kojima's past, he has done stuff like this in the past. If you remember, many years ago, I believe it was for Metal Gear Solid 2, he basically trolled everyone with some tricky marketing, and basically he wasn't saying that Metal Gear Solid 2 was Metal Gear Solid 2 until basically the game was almost coming out, and then he revealed that it was Metal Gear Solid 2 all along, and people were blown away because they didn't think so, right? And the other thing is, you know, it's remember Metal Gear Solid 2, it was Raiden who was the main character, not Snake, and that was very confusing for people. And then if you remember, for Metal Gear Solid 5, he tried to basically just call the game The Phantom Pain. That's right. Team Michael Gamer says, remember Moby Dick Studios? Right. He said the game was being developed by a studio that didn't exist. It was a trick to try to hide the fact that he was making certain games, you see? And the same thing, remember Phantom Pain? Which the game was called The Phantom Pain. Everyone's like, what's that? And then when people just did like a superimposed thing over the logo, they said, oh, it's Metal Gear Solid 5. You could see it right there. You know? So, that, you know, it's not that Hideo Kojima has not done stuff like this before, okay? He's definitely done tricky stuff like this before in his past. But, I mean, this is like the most loose, flimsy, utterly not really feeling like there's any substance there kind of conspiracy. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't believe that these people are putting these connections together. So because you put two books next to each other in a social media post, you cherry-picked one word out of the one author's name and the freaking title of the other book to make it say Silent Hill. Because he posted up a picture of trees, a forest, that means that he's making this game because the game takes place in a forest. Like, any other game or any other game developer, if someone were saying this ludicrous stuff, you'd be like, what are these people, crazy? But because it's Silent Hill and because it's Kojima and because people want it to be so true, they're so upset that it never came to fruition, right? That now it's kind of like they're purposely making these connections to make the pipe dream true. It's just crazy, man. And the thing is, I said, it's the power of groupthink. If enough people talk about it, and enough people spread it around as, say, fact, it almost becomes fact. It's really weird how it works. It really is very odd how all this works. You know, I don't know. I guess we'll see. As time progresses here, we'll get more information about this game. From what I don't understand, there's an event coming up. I don't know if it's... I think they were saying there's the 22nd or something like that. I'm not 100%. They're saying there was some event coming up where basically it was supposed to give more information about this. Alright. And I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but could it be that this whole thing... that's what it was? Or could it be that they were all... these people are just nuts? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Okay? Anyway, that's one of the weird things going on, you know, in gaming on the internet today. I thought I'd share that with you. See what you guys thought. Outside of that, there's not too much else going on besides the fact that people seem to be saying that Xbox Series X's seem to be dropping in a lot of places. Not, you know, yesterday it was in charge. Boy, I'm stupid. It was in person at GameStop. And then overnight, a lot of people have been saying, oh, places like Walmart and other places all seem to be getting Xbox Series X's in stock. So if you're interested in Xbox Series X, this might be your week to get one. Yeah, you might want to look into it and see. You might be able to snag one. Apparently right now, it's the most readily available it's been in many months. Not guarantee you're going to get one, but if you're looking hard, you may be able to get an Xbox Series X sooner rather than later. Okay? Okay. Alright, let's do some shout-outs. Snow Carl tipped me $1.30. He said, my car's in the shop. I'm being conservative with money right now, so this is all I can spare, but would you not consider postponing your day out? I can't. It's the only day that my wife and I have off together. I keep telling you guys, like, I don't have this kind of massive flexibility. When you're an adult, you have to try to take the time you have and use it. You know, our next day that we have together, that we can spend together, is Sunday. After that, it's like another, at least half a week, if not longer. Like, how long do you expect me to not go grocery shopping? We don't have food in the house. I'm not going to eat dirt off the ground. Like, I have to go buy groceries. Oh my God, Snow Carl. I swear people say the silliest things sometimes. I don't know if you're trying to troll or if this is like actually like legitimate question, but I mean, geez, dude, what are you talking about? It's like you just met me or something. Oh, it's good. It's good. Pokemon 3211 in the chat says your playthroughs of Life is Strange 2 and Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit are some of my favorite that you've done. Are there other parts to those games? Well, if you've seen all the parts of Life is Strange 2 and Captain Spirit, then no. But there is Life is Strange True Colors coming out in a couple months. What is it, September? And I'll be playing that. So you'll be able to see a brand fresh new one when it comes out. There you go. Okay, continuing on. Python Septic tipped me $1.30 and said Gray Fox will be in it. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Maybe that's a reference to when I was just talking about this whole conspiracy theory about Kojima. I don't know, but thank you for the tip. Internet People in 2041 tipped me $1.30. He says, Hideo Kojima died this year. He's an extreme marketing gimmick. What does this mean about the next Silent Hill game? What does that mean? No, Hideo Kojima did not die. He's very well alive and happy and active. Like I said, he posts on social media all the time, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know what that means either. I'm so confused. Listen to this. Nut person to me $1.30 and says 3 syllables. Silent Hill. Also 3 syllables. Dark Side Phil. What are your connections to Hideo Kojima? That's great. I feel like I'm in an interrogation room in L.A. Noire. And Cole just put the light on my head, right? Cole Phelps. He's like, tell me what you know. Press X to doubt. Press X to doubt that this abandoned game has anything to do with Hideo Kojima or Silent Hill. X. I just did it. I just put an X in the stream chat because that's bullshit. I think it's baloney. I do. I think it's baloney. Luck pushing... Oh, everyone's doing X now. Cool. Luck pushing Carl tipped me $1.30 and said, here's $1.30. I'm your family now. I'm not so sure about that. That's really weird. The way you said that. It's actually very creepy. And I'm actually pretty upset that you said that. It actually seemed like an ominous threat. I'm your family now. What? What? That's very odd. Okay. Luck pushing Carl. I can't imagine what that's a reference to, but thank you very much. Excuse me. By the way, I would like to say thank you to anyone who has submitted new artwork. Take a look at this spectacular new artwork that's playing right now. All this new art that's been added to the streams in the last couple of weeks. The streams are looking fresh and spiffy and very nice thanks to people submitting new fan art for the streams. I really appreciate that. You got people who've come back who haven't done fan art in a while who came back and submitted new art. We got people who are newcomers to the streams who've submitted new art, and we got people who are longtime lurkers who said, hey, I'll take a shot at it. Here you go. Here's an animation, you know. Pretty cool. I appreciate that. It definitely makes the streams look a lot better. Thank you so much for all of that support. Very, very appreciated. You know, there's different ways you can support the stream. Obviously, tipping me is a great way, but there's many other ways as well, and this is one of them. By the way, check out that new Teespring merch that's been on the website for like 3 years. That slide's like 3 years old. Very nice. Zircon, oh, here we go. You want to talk about conspiracy theories. Zircon says, my favorite new piece of fan art is the one with the dick. Because he actually thinks there's a dick in a piece of fan art when there's not. This is what happens, again, it's the power of idiotic groupthink, okay? So there's a piece of fan art here, it's hand-drawn. It's me as like a cartoon in a vest, and it's very detailed. You take a look, there's like my office set up and everything. There's even a rack with a bunch of vests hanging on it. One of the vests is quite obviously my beige vest, the original vest. It's on there. Plus, it has the blue, the red. All these different ones are hanging on the rack. You can clearly see that's what it is. But morons who want to basically be stupid are, it's a secret detractor picture because that's not a vest, that's a dick hanging on the rack. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What in the holy fuck are you talking about? Take a look. You can clearly see it's meant to be a vest. It looks exactly the same as the other 3 vests hanging on the rack. It's just flesh-colored because it's beige vest. The fact that you would see a dick there says something about you, man. Seriously. Yes, the fact that you see a dick in a piece of fan art when there's no dick there definitely means there's something in the back of your mind. That's all I'm saying. Ridiculous, stupid shit. First, Phil said, did a super chat and maybe update your Teespring. I cannot update my Teespring because I have 0 talent for art. 0. I don't even have a program where I would be able to make a piece of art for Teespring. It's always been people submitting artwork for things like Teespring merch, and then I sometimes tweak it a little bit if I can in Teespring itself, but that's how it comes about. You know, if someone said, oh, I got an idea for a few t-shirt designs and threw them my way and we could talk about them, and then I like one of them, maybe I would add it. But there hasn't been anything in quite a while. There you go. Big Old Bean says, my girlfriend made that piece of artwork. I can confirm there's no dick in it. Yeah, there is none. I know. Big Old Bean, this is the hilarious part. I've told you. It's the power of cultish groupthink mentality. Enough people say something stupid, but enough people say it that they believe it's true. It's the same as thinking that Biden lost the election. It's exactly the same as saying that, you know, COVID doesn't exist. It's this crazy nonsense. And people just keep doing it. They talk about it till, oh, it must be true. No, you're just stupid. You're just dumb. Fan living in the ceiling just did a $20 tip. Says, can you pick up canned food while you're at the shop? Leave it by the stairs. I'll pick it up when I come out during the night. That is very weird. There's a fan living in my ceiling, apparently. The good news is there is no attic where I live, and there's also no basement. Did you hear about these weird stories that there's actually people who live in people's houses and hide, and people don't know that they're there, and then they actually come out? They come out when the people are not home, and they like raid the fridge and do crazy shit, and then, you know, this is weird. I've heard stories about this, and it's true. There's people who do this. It's weird as fuck. And it's a thing that actually happens, but I have no basement and I have no attic, so there's no way that could happen for me, thank God. Galactic Reptile says, yes, people live in business buildings too. No, I could definitely see that, like for example, this is a new tip, by the way. Man in the Mirror just tipped me $1.30. I'll shout it out in a second. Yeah, there's like, if you're in a business building where they have like a full-on kitchen or break room that has like a fridge full of food and drinks, or a big bathroom where you could potentially, if there's no one there, you could basically like wash yourself. There's people who hide in business buildings and then they just live there. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. No, that's not true at all. Snow Carl says, I thought all houses have a ceiling or attic. That's not true at all. Well, we have, under the house, all there is duct space for the ventilation. You couldn't live under there at all. It's very tight and narrow, and there's nowhere to live or even lay down, really. You could just basically crawl through or by the ducts. We do have a very narrow ceiling portion in the bedroom, but there's really nothing, no space up there. You know, there's no formal attic or basement in my house where someone could hide and live. It's creepy shit. So Man in the Mirror tipped me $1.30 and said, I see a dick. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe we should look into that. See, my parents definitely have both. My parents have a ginormous basement. The basement's basically like another floor of the house in my parents' house. It's very large and spacious. And they also have an attic. So it's like they have a house, but then they have all these extra rooms and extra storage and stuff. But I don't have any of that here. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I'm pretty sure... Oh, here it is. Here's the fan art right now. And the left-hand side of the screen, there's the rack with the vests. And you can see the different color vests. And they think that the beige vest is a dick because they're weirdos who apparently think about dicks all day. I don't know what else to say. Okay. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. Snow Carl says that Sweden has stricter housing and building codes. Yeah, you know, it's very different in the United States. Where you go really determines the architecture. So on the East Coast, a lot of the homes are very old because people lived on the East Coast of the United States much longer than they have on the West Coast. So my parents live in a house that's a brick house that was built during World War II. It was actually built as a home that when the troops were coming home from war, they would have somewhere nice to live. So that's the home that my parents live in. And then, depending on where you live, like if you go to Arizona, all the homes are one floor close to the ground and designed in a certain way to have heat dissipation so that the house doesn't heat up and become like an oven during the daytime, you know. Out here on the West Coast, homes are different too. A lot of homes out here on the West Coast, where I live in Washington, don't have any kind of central air system at all because up until recently, it never really got hot. It was always a moderate climate. Now, all of a sudden, in the last few years, or I say the last decade, it's become hotter and hotter here because of global warming. So now people are second guessing, shit, man, we really should have had central air. This kind of sucks we don't have it. You see? Security compromising Carl to the $1.30 says, tell me more about the general layout of your home. No. No. But thank you, security compromising Carl. Someone is very skeptical of Snow Carl, basically saying that Snow Carl is having pointed questions to try to get personal information about me. So Snow Carl, someone is not a fan. Someone really has it out for you, if you haven't noticed. This person, they got a lot of questions, and they want answers, apparently. So what do you say for yourself, Snow Carl? What do you have to say for yourself? How many bathrooms do I have? 7. 7 bathrooms. We need that many because I go to the bathroom so much. Yes. All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, any other topics you'd like to talk about today? Any questions? I'm just curious what everyone's got on their minds today. Anything to bring up that you would like to discuss? Yes, I know. This is what happens when people have big names. See what happens? Look at the top of the screen right now. That's a mess. That's a disgusting, horrible mess up there. You see that? This is what happens. This is what happens when people have insanely large names, is the whole thing gets clouded up. And now look at the mess we're in. This person waiting on parents' life insurance money keeps super chatting. All right. Are you waiting on your parents' life insurance money or something? I know I'm not waiting on any life insurance from my parents. My parents are not rich. They don't have any money. There's like, you know, if they die, the life insurance money will pay for the funeral. And that's about it. They're not, yeah, it's like, oh, you're waiting for your parents to die so you can get money from them. What are you talking about? You're a fucking weirdo. No. I want my parents to live forever. I want my parents to outlive me. How about that? That would be amazing. Anyway, thanks for the super chats, weirdo. All right, very nice. Jadaro Sienta, I don't know anything about that. I really don't want to talk about guns in Texas. That sounds like a combination for disaster. To talk about guns in Texas on my gaming stream, probably not a good idea. Oh yeah, I guess Snow Carl says, no, parents should not outlive kids. That would be incredibly sad for a parent to have to bury their own child. I guess I could definitely see that point. That would be pretty sad and depressing. Obviously, you want the best for your progeny. You want them to live on and carry on your namesake and carry on your legacy. You want them to live and have a full, healthy life, right? Sand Carl just hit me $4.20. Says Sand Carl does not have questions. Sand Carl opposes Snow Carl in a rivalry manner. Sand Carl also speaks of himself in the third person. I don't know what's happening today. Does anyone know what's going on? Does anyone know what is transpiring here on the stream? Who am I? What are we doing here? What is the meaning of everything? I don't know. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of this today. I doubt it, but maybe. You never know what we're going to do on one of my streams. Maybe we'll have a big, open, esoteric, philosophical discussion about life, the universe, and everything. And we'll come to many different determinations here on the stream. Right? Or maybe we'll just razz Carl all day. I mean, we could do that too. We could do a lot of different things. Attack of the Carls, right. Attack of the Carls. So many Carl clones coming in here. Flooding the stream with Carls. We've been flooded with Carls. What was it that we had that time that there was a million of? Oh, God. What was it? There was like 100 of that person on my streams. Like 100 versions. And we couldn't even tell who anyone was anymore. Because they all stupidly changed their names on Twitch to be that. And then we didn't know who anyone was. Because they were all the same name. So we were like, who the fuck is who? No, not Derek. We're talking about back on Twitch, remember? Baby Man, that's what it was. Baby Man Gaming. There was 100 Baby Men, so we didn't know who was who. There was like 10 different people who changed their name to a variation of Baby Man. They're like, dude, what do you... That was the dumbest idea. Then the best part was they were stuck with those names for like 2 months. That was funny. I banned all the Carls. I didn't ban any Carls. What are you talking about? I didn't ban any Carls. No Carls have been banned currently. Snow Carl Army Carl just tipped $1.30 and said, I hate sand. What? What? Snow Carl Army Carl. Now we got double Carl in the name. What the frick? Why not just name yourself Carl Carl? Why not just go full Carl? What is happening? Oh my God. Alright, I don't know what's going on. The stream is being incredibly derailed now. Oh my God. That's like Snowcrawl 2.0 fully equipped, says Team Ico Gamer. Carl. Carl is a Germanic variant of the male given name Charles, meaning free man, strong man, and manly. So if you're Carl, you're a manly man. Ooh, manly man. Oh my God. This is so weird. Hello to Lars himself. He says, hope all is well. Thank you, Lars himself. Appreciate that. All right, Carl just tipped me $4.20 and says, challenge accepted. Carl Winslow. Nice. Like, that's the one quintessential Carl for me is Carl Winslow. He's the Carl who I watched the most on TV back in the day when I was young. So always, whenever you say Carl, I think Carl Winslow in my head. And quite frankly, he was a very entertaining Carl. I enjoyed watching that sitcom, Family Matters. Very good show. Jackie swears I'm so sleepy at work today. Hell. How could you be asleep? How could you be asleep with all this Carl action on my stream right now? Are you out of your mind? Come on, wake up. Perk up. Who's my second favorite Carl? Oh, man. I'm trying to think of another iconic Carl. Oral Turtle just hit me $1.30 and said, what are my thoughts on VR? In a nutshell, VR is incredibly fun, exciting, and interesting for the first, maybe couple weeks that you mess around with it. When I had my PSVR, I was actually, legitimately blown away by it for about a month, I would say. I played so many different games on PSVR, Batman and Job Simulator and, what was some of the big ones? Oh, the one where, PlayStation Worlds, where you're underwater, and then there's the heist one. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Oh, the horror one was good. Until Dawn, the Until Dawn on-rail shooter. That was really good, right? But then, over time, the gimmick wore off, it kind of felt commonplace. Like, it wasn't exciting anymore because every game was kind of the same. And some games were making me sick to my stomach, and some games, basically, I didn't feel like there was enough added value to wearing the headset. The headset itself made my head sweat and was very uncomfortable. Sometimes it would hurt my neck. So, for example, there was a lengthy game that I played on it, and I had to barf like twice playing it. And then by the time I beat it, I was like, wow, this game totally was not worth playing with the headset on the whole time for like an 8-hour playthrough. So, the last time I ever played VR was Resident Evil 7. I had already played through the game once without VR. I said, I'm going to add VR and see what it does. So, when I added the VR, it basically made shooting unique because you would shoot wherever you were looking. But outside of that, it felt like the same game. Maybe the one thing was fighting a boss is kind of creepy when the boss is chasing you in VR. But outside of that, it didn't really add much. After a while, the gimmick dies out and wears off, and then you don't feel like it's really needed. It just feels like you're overcomplicating a gaming situation. Instead of just sitting down with a controller and having fun with the game, you got all this elaborate fucking setup, getting the headset working and sweating and feeling shitty to play the fucking game. I just got tired of it. I got tired of it and didn't want to do it anymore. So, you know, it was an interesting experiment because I think PSVR came out in like October or something. So I played it for like 3 months and I just got tired of it and I never played it again. I never used PSVR ever again. Hello, DSPGaming. How you going? Senor Carlito has tipped me $4.20. Senor Carlito. Now things are just getting out of hand. Thank you, Senor Carlito. All right. By the way, that tip pushed us to $50 already, which means I'll be wearing the Gunner glasses as soon as we start today. Excellent. All right, anyone else have anything else to talk about? Because I do have to take a brief break to use the restroom. And then we'll get set up and get started here with our usual fun stream today, Mass Effect 3, continuing on. Are we good? Or anyone else have a last-minute thing they want to talk about? Get it out of the way. I guess we're good. Oh! Barf Burnell Carl tipped me $1.30 and said, VR sucks, dude. Yeah, let me tell you, it wasn't very pleasant when I was playing this game. I was enjoying the story, and next thing you know, I felt like I had to vomit all over the place. It was not very pleasant. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to have to barf because I'm playing a video game, you know? There's very few situations in life where I want to barf. Playing a video game is definitely not one of them. So thank you very much for the tip. All right. I think it's time for our break, guys. Take this opportunity yourselves. Grab a drink, a snack, use the restroom, get ready, because when I come back, we're going to jump into Mass Effect 3. All right? Thank you for the support so far. I shall be back shortly. Thank you, guys. See you in just a bit.